Hey, this is Georgie.
And Pete.
And welcome to Studio Jargon Busters, where we talk about studio terminology, try to put it into plain English.
That's right, in every episode we take a studio or audio term that is commonly used but commonly misunderstood, and I try to explain it in some sort of plain, assembled English that people would understand with their ears and brains.
Not like that.
Not like that. What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about mastering.
Mastering or mastering, if
Mastering.
you would like to say. Anyway.
The American viewers.
Or our English viewers would say mastering.
No, they wouldn't.
Now that we've isolated every one of you.
How would the Canadians say it?
Mastering, eh? Let's go.
So what the heck is mastering?
So we talked about mixing, we've talked about tracking, we've talked about all the little bits and pieces that you use, like the plugins and the processing so far. You can check out all those episodes if you want to, if you haven't seen those so far. Over there. They're over on the left somehow. But mastering is the final process. So we're, 10 episodes in and we're already talking about the final process. But that's okay. There's plenty more in the rest of the process that we're going to talk about. Mastering is putting the finishing touches on your song. So
that's it. See you later.
Thank you. Once you've done your mixing and from whence you came, your final mix is ready to go. And what does mastering do? Well, essentially, it does a couple of things. It ensures that your EQ settings are right. We talked about equalization. And it makes sure that your mix is going to be loud enough to be radio ready. And it's not just about loudness, but...
Does that mean ready to be on the radio?
It does mean ready to be on the radio.
Who listens to the radio anymore?
No one listens to the radio. It's so funny. We call it a radio ready mix.
But it means SoundCloud ready.
SoundCloud ready or Spotify ready or Spotify. I sounded very that was a very posh way to say Spotify. Oh, rather. One must put one's music on Spotify. One mustn't one. You know, a Foo Fighters song will come on and it'll just be like, I got another confession to make. And it just kicks in like that. And Dave Grohl is just yelling the whole way through. And then yours comes in and it's like, hi, welcome to my song. It's a really good song. And it's not going to compete with the other songs that you hear. And mastering is all about finding a way to ensure that your song is at the same level as other songs that are coming in. But you do want to make sure you maintain some of that dynamic range. But a lot of what you do in mastering is around limiting. We haven't talked about limiting yet, or maybe we have, I can't remember. We've talked about a lot, but compression, which is a form of limiting, which is basically increasing and leveling out your volume. So if you've got volume that's going up and down, that's sort of going like this, then you want to make sure that the peaks are actually right up here so that you're actually hearing the volume to be at a decent level. Yeah, if you've got your mix and you try to like brick wall it and just like limit it right up the top. I think we have talked about limiters. I think we've talked about brick wall limiters. I think we had that analogy. So if you've got everything like running across like this, you got your big sausages going across, then you try to master it, well, you got nowhere to go. So mixing is about getting the balance right and getting all of the dynamics right. Mastering is just about doing those final tweaks that makes sure that your final sound is going to be competitive. And it's not about sounding like everyone else. And it's probably a good note to put in here that there is what's called the Loudness Wars, which sounds very dramatic, doesn't it? Which is that over the last probably 20 years, songs, and you might notice this, so if you've
gotten louder?
Have gotten louder. And a lot of like rock songs especially, you've listened to The Killers, you listen to Foo Fighters, you listen to Metallica especially, they're just like, they start and then they just go and then they finish. So there's not a lot of dynamic range.
They go and they finish.
They start, they go and they finish. That's what a lot of songs do. They start, they go and they finish.
Hot take.
But you want it to be at a nice volume. But if there is a quiet bit, you do actually want to have some variation. So, again, we'll bring it back without that. We've got that and you got that. Bring it back to what is mastering all about. Well, if you've recorded the song, if you've tracked it, you've mixed it, and you've mixed it at a level where you're like, this is all sounding good, and then you play it back and you're like, hey, why is this not sounding right? Like, why when I bring in a reference track, and a reference track is just meaning that you've recorded something, you bring in another track, like, so you bring in your favourite album, like favourite artist.
And by bring in, you mean just play
play it at the same time. So if you're recording, you might say, here's my old track, and then you'll just bring in another track and you'll be like, I really like the Killers, so I'm bringing in a Killers track, and then you're comparing your volume, you're like, why does mine not sound like the Killers? Well, because you're not Brandon Flowers. But why does mine not sound like it? It's like making sure that you can actually bring your volume up and your gain up, and you've got your EQ right, and you've got your compression right, and your limiting right, to make sure that you have enough dynamic range that it's going to sound like it's not just full on all the time, but that it's loud enough that it's going to compete. So that's what it is. And the one probably final thing to mention about mastering is that there are mastering engineers. So if you don't...
There's mixing engineers and mastering engineers. Are they separate? Are they different people?
They're different people.
Wow.
Yeah. And why would you use a
Mind
mastering engineer?
blown.
Right? Why would you use a mastering engineer? What do you think?
To master.
Exactly. But a different set of ears can actually be good. So if you are the performer, like a lot of us in home studios, we're the performer, we're the tracker, we're the recorder, we're the engineer, we're the mixer. So you might want to go, okay, I've done everything I can. And some people even send off their tracks to be mixed by a mix engineer and then to a separate person to be mastered, because someone else will listen to it and go, oh, actually, this needs a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Whereas if you've done the tracking and the mixing, then you get to that final process.
You're too close.
Yeah, you're too close to it, and you're like, maybe...
It's like writing an essay and you keep reading it and writing it and reading it and editing it and...
Exactly. Sometimes you need... If you're writing an essay or you're writing a book and you're getting a publisher, you need your publisher to come in and just say, that's bad, don't do that, do that. And the same sort of thing with mix engineers and mastering engineers. Because we live in the future... Talked about that before, right? We live in the future. There is now automated mastering. So you can literally upload your song and an algorithm will grab it and just say, we need to put this EQ up here, we need to put this level up here, and it will do all that. So
do you think Brandon Flowers uses those?
I don't think so. I think the Killers can probably afford to have a mastering engineer.
So you mentioned Brandon Flowers and I just lost.
You just lost. I noticed that you just went to like Brandon Flowers and the rest of it's just going to be like this. He's a very attractive man, I'm not going to lie. So you can actually use it automated. So lander.com is one of the most popular ones, LANDR.com. Try it if you want to. I don't necessarily recommend it because, you know what, humans have ears, machines or computers have algorithms. So if you listen to music, unless you listen to music...
unless you're Al Gore and then you have an algorithm.
Oh my goodness. I think there's no better place to finish than that, because I think we can't go any further
I don't think we can.
than there. Do you have any questions about mastering?
Nope.
Apart from the fact that we say
I'm still thinking about Brandon Flowers.
Brandon Flowers would say mastering. He'd say we're gonna master this in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Anyway, we're going to finish off. If you've got comments, questions or suggestions, leave them down below, and check out studiolivetoday.com if you want to hear me rant about things that aren't Brandon Flowers. And until next time, we'll see you next time. Bye now.
Thanks for watching Studio Jargon Busters. To find out when new episodes drop, hit the subscribe button. To watch another episode right now, click or tap on the icon on the left, and for more recording tips, tricks and tutorials, click or tap on the right.